Alright guys, so I'm going to give you a quick tip about big mistake you should not do when learning how to play a scale. When you're learning how to play a scale, the one thing you should not do is learn it in only one way. So here's the minor scale. I'm going to play it in A minor. Okay, it goes 5th fret, 7th fret, 8th fret, 5, 7, 8, and then 5, 7. That's the whole scale. Now that's fine. It's not the only way to play that scale though. And a big mistake that people tend to do is learn how to play a scale in just that one position. Now this is nice because there's a convenience about it and then there's an inconvenience about it. Like obviously you want to know the scale and you want to be able to play it smoothly going back and forth. Right? That wasn't that smooth, but you get the idea. So you do want to be able to play things smoothly, but you don't want to be stuck in that one pattern. Okay, so there are a few different ways to play that same scale. We can start on the same fret, the 5th fret, but notice I'm using my pinky this time, because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the 2nd fret on the next string, 5, 2, 3, 5, that's it for that string. Now we're going to go 2, 3, 5 on the next string, and then 2. And that's the whole scale. So that's a new pattern. See how it sounds the same? But now I've completely expanded my understanding of the scale around from the 8th fret to the 2nd fret of the guitar. Now obviously we can take, if we are playing something on the 5th fret, we know that it's going to be an open string. So I'm a little out of tune. I should fix that. So if we're playing something on the 5th fret, then we should know we're going to find it on the open string as well. So this pattern here, we know we can play it open. So we also have some open strings that we can now use that scale for. It's not going to work on every scale, but it will work on a lot of scales. It can work on a bunch of different scales. You're going to find a lot of open notes that you can use. So you can kind of play around with that when you're moving up. Like if I go something, if I'm playing the 8th fret here, so I can use those open notes because I know that this note and this note and even this note are open strings somewhere else, right? On these other strings. So just doing that now, I've now expanded the guitar from the nut all the way up to the 8th fret. But it's still on these top strings. So you do want to understand not only that, but there is another way to look at this same scale. So we can go up like this, and then play the scale like that, where we play this note here, and then we're moving up like that. So it's kind of like a scale where we have a little motion going on. It's not in a stable position the whole time like the other ones are. Like this one, this is a stable position. See, it's static. We don't have to move our hand around to play all the notes. The same thing with this one. It's static. I don't have to move my thumb behind the neck in order to play that scale. Now, this one, however, just to play that first note, I'm going to play on the 5th fret. Or you could make it static and just play it open and then play like that. I prefer not to use the open string because then we're kind of going from this string back up to here. So I tend not to do that. I like to do that slide. Plus it gives you the idea that you can slide in and out of these notes. But now we've just expanded the scale from being just between here, 5th fret, 8th fret, to being from the nut all the way now to at least the 10th fret. Now if we can play that last note, let's say play it there on the 7th fret, or we could play it on the 12th fret there. So we've kind of expanded it up, or we can even do one better. we can play, instead of playing this note here, play it on the 12th fret. And then we just play these 3 notes on the next string. So by looking at the scale that way, we've kind of expanded it all up and down these 3, at least these 3 strings, from here all the way up to the 12th fret. And if you know your guitar a little bit, you know that once we hit the 12th fret, everything repeats from there as if it was the open strings on the 12th fret. So the 12th fret acts as like the open notes again, and everything else follows accordingly to from this part of the neck, but up here. So like our 12th fret on here is an E note, just like an open E. So the 1st fret is an F, so our 13th is kind of like our new 1st fret again, and that's also an F. Everything's just an octave higher. So that's that. Now, here's another cool thing. Once we play this, when we reach that octave, like we get to this, we can actually repeat that again. That same thing, because this is our last note of the scale. It's also the first note of the scale, just an octave higher. So that pattern that we just played, we could repeat, or we can play one of the other patterns. So I played that pattern that time instead. Or I could go, or play that one. Or, I could do that. So remember, just the B string, because I just messed it up myself, but the B string, you have to adjust and move 1 fret up for the B string, because the B string is tuned down 1 fret lower than the other ones. So we always have to keep that in mind when we go to the B string. It's just we have to make that adjustment 1 fret higher for whatever we're doing. That's pretty much it. So let me know how that is. Don't forget to subscribe, right? Hit notifications so that you can stay updated with all my video lessons. Right? Thanks for watching. Make sure you share this with your friends too.